My childhood nights were haunted by a demonic presence under the bed. I can't remember a time when I didn't have vivid, haunting nightmares and episodes of sleep paralysis. Even as a young kid, maybe 8 or 9 years old, I was plagued by night terrors that felt way too real. Most people just think I'm scared of the dark or have bad dreams, but it's so much worse than that. When I was dreaming, I was fully immersed. I could see, hear, smell, and feel everything as vividly as real life. And I was a master lucid dreamer too, able to control my dreams, except when the nightmares came. The nightmares were terrifyingly realistic and happened almost every single night. Dreams of falling, burning, dying alone in the void. But the worst were the monster dreams. Yeah, sometimes it was iconic slashers like Freddy Krueger coming after me. But the ones my mind invented on its own were so much more twisted and disturbing. Grotesque, deformed creatures missing limbs or with too many. Monsters that didn't even resemble anything human. Giant, winged beasts with razor fangs and claws. Or just inky black shadows with piercing red eyes, silently watching me go about mundane day-to-day tasks. People say you can't really die in dreams, but I have, more times than I can count. Falling to my death, being ripped apart, burned alive. I even had one where I attended my own funeral. I'm not really afraid of the dark itself, or even the nightmares, as awful as they are. What I'm truly terrified of is waking up from them in the darkness. Let me give you an example of what one of my worst recurring nightmares was like when I was a kid. I'd fall asleep with the TV on for light and sound. Then the dream would start with me waking up in my own bed, looking at the clock that always said 3:33 a.m. That's when the pure dread would kick in, because I knew what horror was coming. I'd get up and start heading to the bathroom when I'd trip and fall hard. Looking under my bed, there was no light at all, just total blackness. Then 2 small blue fireballs would appear at eye level, the eyes of some unseen entity staring into my soul. Its breath reeked of rotting death and made me want to vomit. Before I could move, I'd be dragged under the bed into pure darkness, held immobile while feeling its disgusting breath on my neck. It had no visible form, just tightly wrapped around me like a suffocating blanket of flesh. Then, in a gravelly, distorted voice, like nails on a chalkboard, it would whisper in my ear, "What do you like about playing under the bed?" I'd break free, screaming and thrashing, waking up for real. Except I couldn't move at all, paralyzed on my bed in sleep paralysis. And that's when the real nightmare would start. I'd hear that same grating, unnatural voice from the darkness whispering for me to come back under the bed. Icy, cold breath on my face that reeked of death. Sometimes I'd see black shadows slinking across the floor towards me before my mom would burst in and turn on the lights. The paralysis episodes didn't always happen in my room either. I've woken up frozen in the bathroom, the kitchen, outside on the porch. I've had unexplained cuts and scratches all over after these episodes. The therapist said it was just sleepwalking and my mind playing tricks. But my grandma had a much darker theory, that I was actually being pulled into the underworld realm, the veil between worlds made thin during the witching hour of 3:33 a.m. when dark forces are strongest. She said I was lucky to survive attacks from an actual demon trying to drag me to hell. I always thought she was a little crazy when I was a kid. But now my own 7-year-old son has started having night terrors too, waking up screaming about the monster with blue fire E's around 3:30 a.m. The other night, after I calmed him down from one of his episodes, he told me through terrified sobs that he doesn't want to play under the bed anymore. I'm not so sure my grandma was as crazy as we thought. Whatever's tormenting my son and I, it's not something bound to just dreams and imagination. I think it may be an evil, ancient force that's been trying to pull our souls into darkness for generations. And I'll do anything to make sure it doesn't succeed again.